And today we have a very special guest with us, Dr. Arastu Sharma. Why I'm saying Dr. Arastu? Because he is none other than CEO of Aestr. Tell all us about your journey.
I worked as a researcher.
Wow.
I later on joined Microsoft and I
Impressive.
worked as a researcher for a time. How this story leads to Aestr, basically, where we want to take this conversation further.
Absolutely.
Is that when I look at the applications I get, when I'm looking for people to help within the project or AI engineers and ML engineers, I'm getting like say 2,000 applications an hour.
Absolutely.
But
I
the
agree.
quality that you see is embarrassingly not that great.
I
mostly.
agree. What is the full form of Aestr, which we are talking behind this podcast?
Yes. Basically, Aestr is a new engineering program that we decided to launch this at Gyan Vihar. Gyan Vihar is one of the most budding institutions, universities in the country right now. It's growing like anything. It's the right plateau for us to launch our rocket towards the space.
Hello everyone, those who are watching us, welcome to this beautiful podcast named Gyan Vihar Spotlight. And today we have a very special guest with us. His name is Dr. Arastu Sharma. So welcome to the podcast.
Just call me Arastu.
Thank you.
Hi,
thank
Tamanna.
you. Thank you so very much and welcome to the podcast. And why I'm saying Dr. Arastu? Because he is none other than CEO of Aestr. We'll let you know what is Aestr and what is it all about. But first, let's get into this, that Dr. Arastu Sharma is right now on a mission. And before we get to know about that mission, let's just find out his journey, as he has an impressive background. And I'm sure that you are going to love what he's going to say about his journey, his career. So, Arastu, first of all, tell all us about your journey.
Thanks so much for such a long introduction. My journey, I always just define myself as a technology explorer. I've just been very lucky to be at the right places and to be working with very exemplary people. In technologies, in engineering, in science, I've just been at the right place. So I did my PhD at Cambridge. I was working at optical computing, which is one of the most leading field currently because quantum computers are built in that. And so, and the PhD was funded by Microsoft. So we were working very closely to the industrial researchers, and so I had the best experiences of my life and really like gained a lot from it. During the PhD, I took a gap year suddenly because COVID was there, and a few friends of mine and I decided that let's try to do something which is impactful rather than just doing our daily research jobs. And we thought actually innovating a new type of diagnostic technology that's actually faster might be better. Because at the time, everyone was struggling with RT-PCR tests and PCR tests that would take like days to come out. So we actually went in and saw like what is actually taking so long to do that test, and we just realized that it's just a specific type of technology inside of it that just you have to just maintain a temperature in a certain sense that you could just do faster with a different technology. But this is medical healthcare science, so people just don't do anything about it. And it takes years to get approvals. So we went in, got funding from a university itself, and later on built a team of like 10 to 15 people and sold a patent to GSK, which is like a huge healthcare company in the UK, for around 10 million pounds. So that was like a start and really like sort of launched me into like this thought that like a mere idea that I thought at like 2 a.m. in the morning could go anywhere. So that's where the story started. I've been involved with various technologies since. I've worked as a researcher. I later on joined Microsoft and I worked as a researcher for a time. A year back, I moved back to India after the big AI wave was coming. And my background was also actually researching with the new types of machine learning technologies. So I thought this could be applied in some ways to have a positive impact somewhere in India. And India is a land of possibilities and opportunities, unlike anywhere else in the world right now. So that's where the story came towards the currently what I'm doing. Since the last year, I've been working on a company which is called Shodh.ai, and we've been building large language models, and we've been working very closely to DRDO, the Defense Research Organization. We actually got funded we were one of the first startups in the country to build our own language model itself.
That's amazing.
So have a team of very good artificial intelligence researchers and engineers out of the country. India has one of the best engineers in the world, but there are the quality is very hard to find. So that's now coming to what we're talking here, how this story leads to Aestr, basically, where we want to take this conversation further.
Absolutely.
Is that when I look at the applications I get when I'm looking for people to help within the project or AI engineers and ML engineers, I'm getting say 2,000 applications an hour. You post because full of engineers. India is every flowing with engineers.
Absolutely.
But the quality that you see is embarrassingly not that great. Mostly. And I went in and I dig deeper in it, and I thought what's really the lacking point here? Why are we a country that's so competitive, so rigorous in our schooling systems, the education system? Almost there's no equivalent in the competition that the students face in this country, and we are taking them in our higher education institutions, but we're not churning out the best engineers in the world. What is the that doesn't make any sense. You get the best people, but the best people don't come out as the best engineers.
What is stopping us?
Exactly. So I dig deeper, and it's our traditional education system. The higher education system has not changed in the last 50 years. We are very slow in adapting.
Cannot agree
we
more.
are very slow in collaborating with industries. And I mean, that's really where I want to lead this discussion to really. So that's the big problem that I want to deal now with.
You have pinpointed some great pointers, and we will talk about that aspect. But before we get into that, I just want you to tell everyone what is the full form of Aestr, which we are talking behind this podcast.
Yes. Thanks, Tamanna. So basically, Aestr is a new engineering program that me and a few fellow AI engineers and collaborators of mine thought that it has to be done. This is something that we see as, this is not sort of a money-making project for us. It became as a project that we thought India needs at this time.
I can see that.
With the space, how everything's changing with AI, with how engineering would be in the future. We see it, but we don't see the institutions changing. And how the way Trump is dealing with visas and and how Europe is now going to do the same thing. We cannot just prepare engineers to be the lab rats of the engineering field that we have forever. Just having a service companies serve the other companies in the world, which is not, AI is going to take that place. So it's time to actually now have our engineers start thinking. They have to start thinking now. They have to be prepared to make their own thought and be innovative. So that's where the thought of Aestr came in.
Wow.
Again, Advanced Engineering Studies and Technical Research Institute. We decided to launch this at Gyan Vihar. Gyan Vihar is one of the most budding institutions, universities in the country right now. It's growing like anything. It's the right plateau for us to launch our rocket towards the space. So we've decided to launch this at Gyan Vihar. This is going to be a very innovative engineering institution. We've piloted it last year. It has shown amazing results, and we are very quickly making iterations of our teaching processes. We have made an awesome team, and I would love to talk about it further.
Absolutely. And you said that Gyan Vihar is going to be the perfect place. Let me tell you, the Gyan Vihar is a great place. It's a kind of a heritage, I would say. Whenever we talk about Gyan Vihar, it clicks on our mind, and everybody look up to with shining eyes, and Gyan Vihar is the perfect place. So I think you are doing the right thing.
No, I agree. Definitely.
You said that our education system didn't change in last 50 years. And that's what my first question to you would be. That first thing is that you talk about your turning point in your career and everything, which took you here. But you have adopted a boot camp style teaching model. How do you believe that this particular approach better prepares students for the dynamic challenges of today's tech landscape? You talked about AI also. And I'm worried that you are adopting a whole new concept of teaching. So how it's going to give them the right direction, the student the right direction?
So let me be very honest. Most engineers that come out of universities in India are unhireable. You
Okay.
cannot get anything done with them. I, as a startup founder, any person who wants to hire an engineer, I just want a job well done. I just want someone who can come in and do the job that I need to be done. And that just doesn't work. You would mostly have, larger companies like, again, TCS and your service companies,
Yeah.
Wipro, Infosys. They're going to go out and look at the institutions. They're going to bring in, mass tons of engineers at one place. Give them a space for a year. If they learn something, they'll keep them. They'll remove them, otherwise throw them out. And that's the story of most engineers that are coming out of India. I'm not saying this is everyone, but this is how this is despite of the competitive nature of this country's institution. So the problem is that traditional education focuses on theory.
Yeah.
India is amazing with theoretical research,
Yeah.
amazing with maths, amazing with physics,
Yeah.
but they know nothing about working in a company.
Yeah.
They know nothing about actually building
The lack
products.
of practical exposure.
Exactly. So there's no touch between industry and academia. So like I'd give an example of my own engineering background. So when I was in my undergrad degree, I was constantly working with and this was in UK. So I had the opportunity to constantly work with industries and companies who would come in. We were working with Apple, we were working with Google, and even with a lot of our professors were doing consultancy projects with a lot of companies. So you get this exposure, you get this learning experience, and this is not just India. I mean, most of education institutions do struggle with it.
Yeah.
But we struggle more, of course, because we pride in our engineers. That's the point. We pride in this workforce that we're trying to create, and one of the largest workforces in the world. Yeah. And this is I press on this because this is a very important time that we make our engineering better. Otherwise, we'll fall behind the world. So we have this space where we can make this impact, but we are not doing anything about it. So that's where boot camps come in. Okay, so what we in industry call boot camp is basically a training process of your early engineers.
Okay.
You take a very short amount of time. You make them work from 9 to 5 the whole day, the whole week, and they are basically spending time with actual engineers during that time for say a month on a specific project, on a specific field, and getting the expertise that they would actually not get in a theory class. So how a traditional education system works is that you go to class, say 9 to 2, and then 2 to 5 you're in a lab that's created from the 90s education, some pre-coded C code and Python code that's not really leading you anywhere. While how boot camp training works is that you're there, you're given an actual code to do, and your code makes an impact in the actual project that they're working on. And eventually, if you do badly, they'd scold you. If you do well, you get the experience of that I got this opportunity and that I'd like to improve myself further. So that's the bootcamp style of training. So spend a month just working on a single subject and a single project.
Yeah.
That way you can actually learn something out of it rather than studying 5 different subjects in a month.
I agree.
So that's basically what bootcamp is.
And that's great. The kind of change you want to create or put it in terms of Aestr. It's incredible, I would say. Whenever we talk about, proper education system or education setup, there are 2 to 3 things which are always will stay common, and in which the first is curriculum.
Yep.
And Aestr's curriculum is uniquely focused on computer science with the flexibility to major and minor in emerging fields. That's something very, very interesting. So could you please elaborate on this particular thing?
Definitely. So Taman, it's like this. With AI coming out like this, and we're specifically talking about engineering here. No one thought that AI could become this creative. You being in this field, you know that
I know that
AI can be an RJ now.
Yeah, my voice too.
AI can create podcasts now.
Yeah.
In the same way, AI can code better.
Yeah.
AI can be a front-end engineer, a back-end engineer.
I think we all agree.
A system engineer. It can play all these roles. And OpenAI is going to launch. They said they're going to launch $20,000 a month engineers who you can hire, who are actually just AI.
Yeah.
You can hire
I'm
them.
aware about that.
Going to do that job for you.
Yes.
And so you are not going to hire that real human. But of course, there's going to be engineers going to work in real companies because who's going to direct them?
Yeah.
Humans are lazy people, and even if we have AI, we don't first of all don't trust that field, and that's not going to happen for the next 10 years at least.
Yeah.
And so with all of this change in the field, you have to have your curriculum completely transformed.
Yeah.
And it has to be done by the people who actually know the field.
Yeah.
So the way I see AI changing software and coding and jobs, I don't think most of the academicians in the country can see it.
I know that.
And that's where we thought that, like, even if we make a small impact in it, even if we make a small inspirational start, this could actually lead on to different institutions, and I hope that, like, they all learn from this and make better institutions in India and make better engineers in India. So the major and minor is a concept that comes in the sense that now it doesn't benefit you to just be expert in a single form of, like, coding. You just can't be a back-end engineer anymore. You have to be a multi-specialized engineer who is able to use AI to do your job better. So you need to start using AI.
Okay.
Use it as your assistant, do the job 10 times faster, deliver 10 times faster, build products 10 times faster and better. And you are the person who's leading that job. So you have to be on the spot. So how our major and minors are structured. And we've completely decided to do the BTech degree only in computer science right now.
Okay.
Again, that's because we think that computer science involves AI and that involves sort of all fields.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is, so you major in, say, one of a few computer science fields that we've determined to be one of the next 20 years or next 2 decades most important jobs.
Yeah.
So you'd be a software engineer, but we don't call it a back-end engineer. We don't call it a full-stack engineer. We call it a software engineer because you are a person who knows to do all these three things.
Yes.
And now that's possible because you just need to be good in knowing it, and you just need to be good in making AI work for you in a better way. Second would be a product engineer, a cloud engineer. This is a person who's able to deploy mass scale products. So if you're working with the rest of the team, some of the team is working in software engineering and the other team is working in ML engineering. There has to be a person who knows how to scale this on Amazon, AWS Cloud, Microsoft Cloud, and make your application reachable to everyone and scalable. And the third is an ML engineer. So people who actually know what machine learning is and not just prompt engineers on ChatGPT, but people who are trained to build models and people who can fine-tune models and people who can build language models itself. So these are the majors that we are offering. But the interesting point comes in where I said that you need to be experts in at least multiple fields now to be able to get jobs. And that's what we're offering in minors. So say the first minor would be nanotechnology. So you combine your computer science skill with your nanotechnology skills. So you are, any company who's working on a material science project or robot building project or a specialized project, that hire a person who studied both things rather than just a software engineer. Then you can do a minor in design. So again, you cover UI, you cover UX, you cover user experience. There's a minor in smart city, which is basically combining civil engineering with computer science. Again, you can't have future good civil engineers who don't know computer science. And you can't have normal computer science people working in civil engineering projects. So you combine these fields. And so we've selected 7 or 8 very sort of highly placeable, highly important fields that people are looking for experts in, people are looking for professionals in, and we are creating engineers who would be experts in these 2 fields, who have a broad spectrum of understanding and who are better than the AI that they're using, basically.
This concept is very unique, very new, but I want to understand this also, that how will be able to achieve that? You need a crazy set of team who are like industry expert, who trained from industry. So are you planning for that?
That's the toughest part, really. It's because normally engineers don't want to work at universities. It's not really a scalable industry. They want to stay in big cities like Bangalore, Mumbai. They want to stay within their own ecosystem. It's a completely and that's really the problem in India, which is like industry and academia don't work together. So that's where we come in really, because we come from the industry. We run in industrial companies. We have friends, we have collaborators, researchers who do industrial projects all the time. So we have easy access to people who I can go to and like inspire them to join us to become part-time teachers and part-time trainers, part-time makers of the next generations of engineers.
Wow.
So 50% of our team is made out of actual engineers who do actual engineering.
Interesting.
And why I specify on actual, because that's rare to find. You have
couldn't agree more.
Yeah. So most universities have great professors, sure,
great professor,
but engineering is a field that doesn't work in offices. Doesn't work in classroom. It doesn't work in a academia building.
It requires a lot of industry needs, I guess. I suppose
it's a practical field. Something has to come out of it. It's not like physics where you can spend 20 years with just a notebook.
Yeah.
It's not mathematics.
I agree.
Which is again great, but engineering has to be done outside of the classroom. It has to be done with the users. It has to be done with the people who are making that product. Even if it's a hardware product or software product, it has to be done in a factory, in a digital factory or a real factory, but it has to be done in a factory. So 50% of our team is actual engineers. They come and teach our students, but how we keep them is Aestr parallelly runs a consultancy, AI consultancy, software building company. So our teachers, our engineers are actually working on real projects that they serve for our clients. And as our students come in, our students are selected as per their expertise and the way they want to progress in the field, whichever field they choose. You want to be a systems architecture, you work with our systems architecture who's working on this real project. You work with this person, the person is teaching you, training you the full day with the priority of actually making you learn, but also trying to deliver to the client. So that way they get extra people to help with, but the actual benefit is to the student who, when they come out of the 4 year of this experience, are actual experts in some field, are actual senior engineers instead of just freshers. So you're more hireable, you are more impactful in any company or a startup that you join, which is our aim really.
Absolutely. And that's dur ki soch, by the way, because I don't think so that no other university is thinking of this particular model. So we talked about, this boot camp style teaching method. We talked about your curriculum. We talked about who is going to teach the students. Now, my concern, not question, my concern is that once a student take admission to any university, he or she is ready with the goal that I want to work in an MNC. I want to be an engineer, a doctor, or any other, say, and I want to start my own business. I want to be an entrepreneur. So what Aestr is doing for their career?
So very good question, and actually a question that everyone has to ask when joining in a university or an institute, because you're doing it for your future. Of course, you are doing it to make your future safe.
Absolutely.
We, on the other hand, focus on this specific topic because it's our responsibility, and this is something that we carry with us highly. Because I mean, see, we are engineers who, engineers are people who find hacky ways to do things, but it has to work. And we believe in like projects that have to work anyhow, somehow. So if you take that same idea in academics, whatever you're doing, it has to lead to something. So we ensure, and we have to ensure, and we'll have to be forceful on the students that we want to ensure that every one of you, every one student has to go towards a positive outcome. They have to achieve something out of this degree, because it's my name, it's our name, it's Aestr's name from it. Because for the future students joining in, they are the forebearers, they are the trademarks of the outputs that we produce. So it has to be a positive impact. We are offering 4 different types of pathways and funnels that students can particularly take out of the program, and we have worked very hard on it. So one option is to go for our specialized training experience. We only select the top 10% of the students that join us in this experience. You work for the last 3 years or the 3 years of your degree in actually becoming experts in a specific field. You do 10 internships with us.
Yeah.
We focus on you highly, but this is for the
That's
top
amazing.
1% of the 1% of the students. We're trying to, my primary aim is like, can we beat IITs in the outputs? Can we be the best institution
That's
in the country?
amazing.
Really. So that's the first pathway, and that's when, if you do the hard work and if you have it in you to bring it out. Second is we've collaborated already with around 50 to 60 companies
Okay.
who are looking like me, and people like me. We're always looking for people, who know how to get things done, who will get this thing done for me. I'm looking for a backend engineer. I am looking for the person tomorrow, and I want the job done in a week.
Okay.
But it takes me a month to find the right person. I interview people for 2 months. I have no idea how to pick the right person because there's so many applicants and you never know if they actually know what to do. So what do? If someone comes to you and says, see, I have around 100 students who I have made the best backend engineers in the country. I've spent 3 years on them. We've worked hard on them, and I ensure that you can they're exactly what you need, and you pick them. So we've done that with 50 companies already. We'll do that with more who are hardworking students who completely go through this process and believe in us. We will definitely be placed. So that's the second outcome that can come out of this. The third is we are offering 3+1 or 2+1 study abroad programs with again with 20 of our global university partners in US, UK, and Europe. Again, because we have the sort of collaboration, the research collaborations that we do, we're able to already set up this pathway where if you want to be someone who wants to study abroad, who wants to have the experience of studying in the US, the UK, who maybe wants to make a career abroad, this is one of the best opportunities you can get. And again, for our best selected students, because we have to ensure the quality outputs that come through it. But we are one of the only institutions that offer such kind of programs.
I agree.
And the fourth is one of my favorite, which is entrepreneurship. I really hope that like at least 10-20% students out of any program in this country aim for creating something of their own, aim for innovation, aim for reinventing things. And I would hopefully personally take them held hands with in that path, and we using our collaborators, using our professors, our technological development, our engineers, this ecosystem that we are creating here, you'd have ample opportunity to bring in your idea forward, debate the idea, get it tested, get it built it yourself, get trained to build it, and then launch it. So all of this can only be done in an institution that provides that ecosystem. You'd see that most of the leading companies are always around some universities. So Stanford made Silicon Valley because they had the ecosystem there. They churn out the best engineers, they join the Silicon Valley, they make the best companies, they make the best products. So we're trying to replicate that.
It's the right example.
Right here. In Aestr, in Gyan, Vihar, we will have teachers who are engineers. We have professors who are innovators and researchers. We have students who are capable, and we have an administration, a management that's really pushing everyone forward with this mission. So hopefully everyone's going to come out with a very positive outcome. So either you become an expert in a field, you will get a job, you go study abroad, or you become an entrepreneur.
Amazing. I think if I summarize all of this, it would be Aestr is a perfect blend of theoretical, industrial, practical, and career-oriented institution, I would say.
Yeah.
I think that's something I'm very very impressed with. This is huge. And if I ask you one last question in
Yeah.
this particular podcast, that is when I say Aestr, when you
Yeah.
hear Aestr,
Yeah.
what one word or one sentence comes in your mind instantly?
Yeah, I would say rethinking engineering.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You have to be better than the AI that you're working with.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's amazing because with this AI, I would say that people have a lot of fear that AI is going to take our place.
Yeah.
But whatever you have mentioned about, building new technologies or working with AI in a certain way through all these programs, all this curriculum program which you have mentioned, it's something I think students would love to be a part of it, I would say.
Yeah, hopefully.
So thank you so very much for doing
Thank
this
you
with
so much.
us.
Thank you so
And
much.
thank you for sharing this amazing thing. And at the very beginning, I told everyone that you are on a mission, and I think you are at a very, very right direction. And Aestr is going to be the future of engineers in India, I would say.
It would be. Thanks
Absolutely,
so much, Amanda.
indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Arastu, for doing this, and thank you everyone who all are there with us throughout this particular podcast. And if you are looking for a particular platform, which is a right platform for you to start your engineering journey, then Aestr is going to be the one-stop solution for that. I will meet you everyone very soon with this particular podcast series named Gyan Vihar Spotlight. Thank you so very much for staying tuned with us, and thank you.
Thank you so much.